Hello and welcome to this program. This is called the Need to Know series. And today we have somebody who I'm particularly excited about. His name is Uche Okugo. And Uche Okugo is the Investment Attraction Coordinator for African and Caribbean Markets for the City of Brampton in Ontario Province of Canada. Uche has a particularly interesting story. He only came into Canada in 2020, so that makes it, no, maybe 2018. He will correct me, whichever is the case. So if we go by 2018, that's only 5 years. But he literally hits the ground running. And only a few weeks ago, or probably days ago, he got a letter of acknowledgement from the Nigerian High Commission based in Ottawa, acknowledging his recent promotion. And it's just a wonderful pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome, Uche. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Emmanuel. Good morning.
It's good to see you clad in your Nigerian attire. Obviously, you still remember where you're coming from. So let's get to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and especially how you've been able to hit the ground running so quickly in such a short time?
Thank you, Emmanuel. I'll start by saying there's no place like home. We are lucky to be in a country that gives room for us to not only recognize and appreciate home, but to bring home with us here in Canada as well. And so by being clad in Nigerian attire, it's not by chance. It's something we have been doing regularly. We dress like this to work, we dress like this to events, and we are encouraged as much as we can to look like this as well. Oh yeah, so there are even events in the office that are community-based, where you are encouraged to represent your community as much as you can. I will also tell you that even the mayor of Brampton has attended events cladded in Nigerian attire as well.
Wow.
So, it's a beautiful experience.
That's nice.
So, once again, thank you very much for this program. I'm honored to be here. My name is Uche Okugo. And like as introduced, I work with the City of Brampton, where I lead its investment attraction efforts geared towards foreign direct investment. And my portfolio is focused on the African Caribbean markets. I still wear a couple of hats. I am the president of Network of Nigerians in Canada. It's a group that was also set up in 2019 officially, with the mandate to just encourage people to build on human capacity development for leadership opportunities. I am also the immediate past president of the Rotary Club of Brampton. It's one of the most vibrant Rotary clubs in Canada. And I led 60 members through a couple of successful one-year tenure, where we had so many things that were the first of its kind in that club that happened in Brampton as well. With respect to what I do for the city and the letter I received from the High Commission, I was honored when I got the email from them. I wasn't expecting it. Apparently, one of the things they do is they have a focus on Nigerians here that are doing great things. It could be Nigerians that are working for the government, Nigerians doing their businesses, Nigerians leading different causes and really, really blazing the trail. So I got that email from them in recognition of my current position with the city. And it's also unique because this position, it doesn't exist anywhere else in Canada. So the City of Brampton is the only municipality that actually has a portfolio focused on direct foreign investment from the African and Caribbean nations. So this desk is a unique desk. And so what we do is pretty pioneering. And we are not only doing this as per a job title, we're doing this because we know that in future, others would want to play along. And so we can create a template as leaders for them to tag along, as it were.
Wow.
So it's been a pretty interesting journey. I did come to Canada in 2018.
Okay.
And one thing I learned from my father is that what is worth doing is worth doing well. So for every endeavor I have ventured into, I wore that in my mind that I have to make this work. I have to put my best into this. And so as it seemed, people actually assume that I've been in Canada for a very long time. And each time I tell them, oh, I just came in 2018, they'll be like, no, I'm not asking you when you came to Brampton. I mean, when did you come to Canada? I'll be like, I've been here for that long. And so, when people express this surprise to me, it makes me know that, it's really been the Lord's favor upon me, because I recognize the fact that everything I am, everything I have is to the glory of God.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that very beautiful introduction. And along the line, you did mention that you also lead, apart from the initial investment attraction coordinator, you also lead NNC and you as well as the Rotary Club, which is amazing. Within just 5 years, you've been able to do all these successfully. So I'm sure you've heard many people, given your role even in Network of Nigerians in Canada, you've had lots of Nigerians complain about, not complain, but have different issues, culture shock, having to reinvent, go back to school and all that. How, in your case, were you able to grow your footprint such that you actually more or less started from the top? I mean, you're leading that organization. I don't know what your membership strength is, but I see different programs that you do in partnership with other associations, and it's just amazing. I think you, if I'm not mistaken, one of the noble things you've been able to do or participate in is the first flag raising event that will be happening on the 2nd of October. So tell us a bit about that.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Now, the thing about culture shock and adaptation is, on the one hand, there are things you have to learn and get used to.
Yep.
On the other hand, and this is the hand that people don't really know about much, on the other hand, you simply have to be yourself and let people adapt to who you are. So because we're in Canada, we think, oh, everything has to change. This is the Canadian style. Let me fit in. You are coming with who you are. You are coming with what you have. There are some people that want to see that side. There are some people that have to get used to that side. This is one country that encourages diversity.
Yeah.
And so while you're learning certain things, you also want to let people know who you are. You also want to tell them, hey, listen, I also have this to bring to the table. And it's important you understand this part of me and learn it as well. For example, some people keep telling me, you're from Africa. I'll be like, no, I'm from Nigeria. And they really don't know there's a difference, to them. Nigeria is a country, Africa is a country, Africa is what we know. No, Africa is a continent like North America. Nigeria is a country in Africa, just like Canada is in North America. There are some learning processes for those here as well. So while you're trying to adapt in terms of, okay, this is new to me, let me get used to it. There are some things you also bring in that are new to them. They have to learn because, mind you, it goes both ways. So when I landed, I understood professionally that, first of all, certain professions are hit the ground running. It's the same thing worldwide. Others are actually regulated. I came with an engineering background because I have a first degree in civil engineering. And so when I landed, I knew that, okay, this is a regulated field. But before I came to Canada, I was told to come to Canada with an open mind, which means you can choose to maintain your path. You can choose to go on a new path. It's completely up to you. Canada encourages you in any way you choose to go. So having practiced engineering for a long time, I finished my first degree in 2002. When I landed in 2018, I said, you know what, let's see what else Canada has to offer. And so I started off in a related engineering field. And down the line, because I have an MBA, I took further studies in trade and investments, and I decided to delve into the business side of things. That's what I'm doing right now. So it was easy for me to transition because I decided on the path I wanted to go, and I walked my way towards that path. There are mentors you would have that will just guide you along that path. There are, programs to take on, whether government support or from the private sector. But one has to be open to that learning opportunity for them to truly, navigate the waters here. There are challenges, of course, and part of those challenges for newcomers when you arrive is you have to worry about getting a job, at least to start making money, and also getting accommodation. That was a big one. And that's one of the things that led me to speak to a few friends that I made here then and said, you know what, let's even take a deeper look at what this real estate scene has, because a lot of people really had, housing issues. And so I invited a speaker then. He's a broker of records, and he came to Brampton. We were just a few that was gathered, and he spoke to us. That was the first time I brought people together to talk about, anything at all. It was the first gathering we had, and it was successful. There was interest. Today, some of us have delved even deeper into the real estate industry, investing heavily and diversifying our funds. So from that day, I said, you know what, we can actually make this work to help Nigerians that are coming with information and support them towards housing as well. And so early the following year, together we started what was then called Nigerians in the GTA. We're holding seminars, trying to gather as much information in a template for newcomers. And then also we did the first flag raising commemorating Nigeria's Democracy Day, because we realized that because we're coming with something, we need people to know who we are. We decided to make sure that they know Nigeria. And one of the ways to make people know your nation is to celebrate national days, one of which is Democracy Day. So June 12, 2019, we had a proclamation at the City of Brampton, as well as a flag raising. And that actually marked the first of its kind anywhere in the world. Because this happened on that day that they declared June 12th as Democracy Day. That was the first June 12th Democracy Day, and it was commemorated in Brampton. So it was the first of its kind. And after that event, we were invited by the Nigeria High Commission, where we presented the proclamation to the High Commissioner, His Excellency Adeke Ashekun, and then also we had a meeting with him. And so right after that, we said, listen, we have this traction, let's move on. Let's keep doing these events, putting Nigeria in the face of everyone, as it were. And so the name later changed to Network of Nigerians in Canada after our strategic session. And we looked at priorities, we looked at values, and then we decided to hit the ground running with the organization. And today, we are working with other Nigerian organizations around Ontario to also do the first ever provincial flag raising at Queen's Park in Toronto. And that will be happening on the 2nd of October, 2023. It's never happened before. And so we have these organizations very excited. Even the province is excited because I've had a couple of meetings with them as well. So, they are looking forward to seeing the Nigerian community and looking forward to this event as well.
That's fantastic. I will be there. That looks very exciting. And, it's amazing. So what would you say? People, one interesting thing that I found about people is that when they see somebody shooting up like you, there's a common way people try to say he's lucky. What would you say to people who read your story today? Oh, Uche, he was just lucky. Don't mind him. Because, you're doing quite a number of things you've said. And within such a short time, you've been able to hit the ground running. You said, for instance, that the office you hold in the City of Brampton is the first of its kind. That's innovative. Is it something that just fell into the laps, or did you innovate? Did you have anything to do with that? Is that because it looks like some of the things you've been able to do are first of many of them. And were you just fortunate to be there at the right time, or was it also part of your own effort in making it happen?
So I will start by saying the grace of God upon my life, and indeed the availability of the grace of God, should never be underestimated. Now, I believe strongly also that things turn out best, and this is my mantra, for those who make the best out of the way things turn out. I have often looked out for opportunities, and I've often patterned myself to be ready to take advantage of opportunities. I can tell the story around how I got the job, right? How I made sure that I am well positioned to qualify for the job, and also how everything I do builds up to something great in future. The position, I would say, is an effort of the Nigerian community. How collectively we made sure that not just the City of Brampton but and the province of Ontario, but Canada knows that Nigerians are great people. And so this actually developed interest in the mayor of Brampton. So he went to Nigeria. That trip was an eye-opener for him. It was his second time in Nigeria. And his first time was way back in 2007, I think. That was just strictly political. But this one was business-like. He saw the investment opportunities that abound in Nigeria. He had a taste of Nigeria. So when he came back, together with the city council, they decided to create that desk, foreign direct investment focused on Africa and the Caribbean nations. And it's been wonderful. You understand? It's the first of its kind. And now I occupy that desk as the coordinator. And like you rightly said in the beginning, it involves a lot of traveling, a lot of meetings, a lot of coordination, a lot of networking, and the use of a lot of tools and techniques as well. I wouldn't call it luck that I have been kind of in the middle of a lot of firsts or a lot of good things. It's a function of taking advantage of people I know, things I know, what I learned down the road, and how to sell these ideas to people for them to key into it. So like I said in the beginning, when I brought people together for the first real estate seminar, after that, I kept holding meetings with them, and I was telling them, we need to make this work. We need to continue. There's prospect here. There's opportunity for us to be positioned to help Nigerians. And they bought into it. And then we moved on to form an organization, moved on to organize events. And from 2020, we started organizing Niger Fest. It's like a signature event that we do, and it's been, having people come around from diverse groups. And so these are things that have been going on that have been strategic along my path. So it's not luck. It's not just, it's a one-off thing. No, it's a function of being deliberate about whatever it is you do. And, like I believe, once you put in your effort, it works for you.
That's fantastic. Well, viewers, we'll cap it off here. We have a second part to this interview. We'll be talking, Uche will be talking a little bit more about the City of Brampton, the opportunities that are available to entrepreneurs. He will talk about the trade missions he's organizing with Nigeria and other communities, and a lot of other things. Look forward to it. See you for now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye for now.
Thank you.